we're gonna do a 2-for-1 video here, part 1 and then part 2. So question is, what are the steps in selling a home in Florida before hitting the market? Excellent question. So let's say right now you're saying, thinking about selling my house. Okay, let's get your house ready. So there's going to be a couple of steps, and I'm not going to do this in any order. First and foremost, why are you selling? Right? There's different reasons for people selling. Whether you found the house that you want to buy, you have to move because of job, transfer. Maybe you're losing your house, financial. Maybe you're going through a divorce. So there's a lot of different reasons why selling. And this is why this is important, this question. Because if it's like a divorce situation or a financial situation, you might have to fire sell it, get rid of it. But if it's because you're finding something else you want to buy, you might need a certain amount of money, the net profit from your house, to move forward. So I always like to do a proper net sheet in the market we're in to see the exact profit at worst case scenario that you would make, okay? That is super important. No one takes this step seriously, because the last thing you want to do is get an offer and then assume, oh, it's a good offer, or go, whoa, wait a minute, I'm only going to make this? I would never have sold my house. You need to know what the worst case scenario is, especially in a buyer's market where they're not giving you full price, they're asking for closing cost incentives, maybe, there's a who's going to pay title. There's so many different variables. That's what people don't understand about real estate, is you're not buying a house for $100,000, selling it for $200,000 and making $100,000. Doesn't work like that. There's so many different closing costs, right, that come and go depending on who's paying, seller or buyer, and depending on what market. So you have to do a proper net sheet. That's number one. Number two, we need to do a walkthrough. We need to find out, does the house look good? Is it, need some sort of rearranging or staging or whatever the case may be? Very important that we have to do that. Is the landscaping up to par? 3, I was about to say something else. Is the house in immaculate shape in the sense of structural, roof, AC, and everything? Because if we feel like it's a super old house, or maybe you don't really know too much about it, we need to do a pre-inspection. That's a really big one, because what happens if we find out there's major flaws with the house? Are you going to be able to fix them? Are they going to hurt the next buyer? Are you going to be able to pay them after the profit? There's so many variables. I want to say something very important here, or real quick. We do not ever request money back. So let me explain this. Let's say we do a pre-inspection for you, or whatever we do for you to help you to get your house ready, and you decide that you can't sell it, or maybe you can't sell it because we never ask for that money back. This is how we, the Kerin Group, build relationships with you, right? We want to make sure that we guide you and help you in the right direction, and we take an investment part of it as well, right? Because whether it's today, 2 years, 3 years, we want you to say, hey, this group is amazing. They did everything right by me. I'm going to tell my friends, I'm going to tell my family, I'm going to tell everybody. So that's why it's important and feel comfortable working with agents like us, because now you can say, cool, I know I have financial help or guidance or knowledge from these agents that are going to help me to get my house ready, or to find out if I can even sell my house, okay? So we're talking about net sheets. We're talking about doing the walkthrough, making sure it's photo ready. We're talking about, is the house structural sound, and is there no hidden things? So God forbid we have a buyer and then they do an inspection and it falls apart. We want to know now, right? So these are things that we're going over. And then last but not least, very important, is depending on time frame. So if you're saying right now, I'm ready to put my house on the market in the next week or two, that's one thing. But if you're 3 or 4 months down the road, okay, 3 or 4 months is we take advantage of the walkthrough to make sure everything's ready. But we're not talking about price or anything, because 3 or 4 months can be a drastic difference. We don't know if your neighbor's going to undersell their house. We don't know if 3 of your neighbors are going to put their homes on the market. So when it comes to finance and trying to figure out price point and profit, don't do that when you have 3 or 4 months to go, because that's going to really throw things off. I remember one time, I'll just use $400,000 as a example. We were talking to a homeowner and we're like, oh, $400,000 is roughly blah, blah, blah. And then this was months later, but they had to know now, months later, 2 or 3 of their neighbors, 375, 350, 345. And 2 of them were going through divorce. Destroyed everything we wanted to do. So I don't want someone coming back to me and saying, you said this, you said that. So that's why it's important to understand these things. So these are why we're doing the videos. Fun Tampa, for your food and fun. The Kerin Group. my M&M addiction. Anything you want to know? The next is what are the steps in selling a home in Florida after hitting the market. So we're going to do another video about after it's on the market. So anything you guys need, let me know. I love doing these questions and whatnot. I'm going to be doing them every single